Good morning, church family. How are you today? Everybody's looking wonderful and happy. I like those smiles. We're going to stand together and sing our joy song, There's Sunshine in My Soul. And of course, Nancy's going to pep you up.
I'm going to pump you up. So we're going to sing joyously our joy song. Let's hear lots of loud singing. Here we go. There is sunshine in my soul today. It is glorious and bright, ever glowing with a warming ray. For Spirit is my light. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is springtime in my soul today, and I know that God is here. The notes of peace sing in my heart, the joys of grace appear. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is gladness in my soul today, and hope and love and praise. For blessings which are easy now are rising all my days. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. And there's sunshine in my soul. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Good morning. Let me introduce you to Rick, who will be our reader today. We're looking forward to that. Our guest musician is Bill. Welcome back, Bill. And Doug will be bringing our message. All right, so if you're all ready, Rick's going to come up for our inspirational reading.
That's before our first hymn.
What's the first, wait a minute.
Yes,
Hold
before our
on.
first hymn.
Yes. That is not right. Oh, no, I'm in the wrong place. Hold on, that sound just got me discombobulated.
Doesn't work out.
Yep, I'm so excited. Oh, come on, why don't you move? Oh, is this gonna take forever? Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's like slow as molasses. What's that doing? No, I'm supposed to, oh, I thought you said the hymn was now. I didn't say that. You said hymn.
I asked. Nancy,
It's coming, hold on.
Nancy, this one's for you. This one's for everyone. This is very brief. I found this 2-line reading recently that, thank you, that just captured me with its clarity. It's true.
Louder.
I'm on the mic.
I can't help you there.
I can't either. This is drawn from Meditations on A Course in Miracles. Most people are familiar with the Course in Miracles. Described by Marianne Williamson as an independent study in spiritual psychotherapy, the goal of which is the replacement of a thought system based on fear with a thought system based on love. These 2 lines are obviously brief. I'd like to read them and have us pause for a moment just to take it in. It's called On the Healing Power of Time. Can you imagine what it means to have no cares, no worries, no anxieties, but merely to be perfectly calm and quiet all the time? Yet this is what time is for, to learn just that and nothing more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, come on. There are ghosts in the machine today.
Let's have a moment of prayer for Nancy.
We got it, right there. There it is.
Our first hymn today will be on the projector. It will be, it is. So let us rise while we're able to sing We Have Come Into His House.
Just a moment, will you? You pray with me. God, as we approached Christmas and the birth of Christ, we had Advent. And today we recognize the newness in life because Easter's coming in 2 weeks. And we recognize spring, new growth in the flowers and the trees, and even new growth among ourselves. Father, this service today is about new growth within us. And we celebrate your omnipresence. Thank you, dear God. Amen.
Amen.
We seem to be starting out in kind of a funny mood. So I might as well add to it if I could, but this isn't going to be that funny, I don't think. But sometimes I do that, I know. There was a lady coming out of Kroger's, and she was getting into her car. Oh, she did it again. She locked her keys in the car. She did it again. Well, she saw a coat hanger nearby, so she got that, and she was digging and digging and digging, trying to open her car door and get her keys out. And she just couldn't do it. She just couldn't do it. And she's a church-going lady. She just said, God, help me, help me. All of a sudden, a motorcyclist drove up. And he jumped off the motorcycle. He's got tattoos all over him and a leather coat. He looks kind of rough, skull hat and all that. And within 15 seconds, he had her car unlocked. And she said, oh, thank you, dear man. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. And he said, lady, I'm not sweet. I just got out of prison for grand auto theft. And she said, God, you even sent me a professional. Okay. Bible verse today. In December 2018, former President George H.W. Bush was having his state funeral. And his dear friend, the former Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney, said these words, said, there are wooden ships, sailing ships, and ships that sail the seas. But the best thing of all is friendships. You know, friendships are what make our life more complete. With friends, we can have trust and caring and laughter. They help complete our lives. Sometimes, and it's happened to me, sometimes, and maybe it's happened in your life, where you have lost track with someone, but then you can come together after so many years even, and just pick up right where you left off with the caring and the laughter and sharing of experiences. You see, we do not go through life's troubled waters or this voyage alone. It is the friendships that have helped make us. Thank you. Now, will you recite the statement of being in our orders of service? You can find it, and if you'll recite after me. God is one, both invisible and visible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and of every one is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
I'm back.
Yay!
But this time I was going to say that accompaniments, I can't say that word, so I say accomplice. This is Miss Cherie Wright. And we're going to do a tune called, interestingly enough, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. It was written by Dr. Billy Taylor, who's a famous jazz musician and teacher, and it was recorded and made famous by Nina Simone. And it goes something like this.
Now's the time in our service for our healing meditation. Is there anything in our prayer box this morning? There isn't. Or if you're like me, you brought a prayer within your heart. And I'll share it with you now. As we gently and reverently take a deep breath and relax ourselves and relax our neck muscles and even our shoulder muscles. After all, this is our healing meditation. And why not invite healing? Release, relax, my beloved. We don't live for yesterdays, nor do we live for tomorrows. We're only here right now in the present. We breathe deeper and deeper. We are like pilgrims in the universe. Father, sometimes I have come to you and not even known the words to say. And you've been there for me. Father, I've come, and others have come with expressions in their heart, maybe a heavy heart or maybe a glad spirit. Whatever the case, we can turn it over to you, Father. You keep our cart straight and our yoke tethered. Oh, Father, when I come to you and I don't even know the words to say, I think sometimes that is the closest I am to you. Just the silence. At this time, I will invite you to spend 90 seconds to 2 minutes in this silence with me, turning it over to God that the words can't even express. Beginning now. gently, ever so gently. As the music has filled your soul, I hope peace, rest, and healing took place. Father, Father God, and it is so. Amen. As we're in a prayerful mood, please recite the Lord's Prayer with me right now, if you would. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Thou give us this day our daily bread. Thou forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou lead us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. That was a beautiful prayer. Thank you, Rick. A couple weeks ago, Reverend Melanie gave her talk. Her message was about love. She took a bold step with it. And she inspired me with her message. I hope you got to hear it. Or you can go back on the webpage and look at it. I don't want to take her message. It just inspired me, so I just want to nudge it just a tiny little bit, my way. What I thought I could add to it, just a tiny bit, because she covered the subject beautifully. Elizabeth Gilbert, you might have heard of her. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She wrote that book in 2006. In 2010, it was made into a movie with Julia Roberts. Eat, Pray, Love. She traveled all over Asia and so forth, eating and praying and loving. Elizabeth Gilbert lost her partner last year to cancer, Raya Ellis. And I want you to know that she's writing today. She wrote, "My dear friends, in the corner of my world this springtime, I want you to know things are great. He was a friend for 30 years. And I've landed in such a warm place in his heart." And then she goes on to say, if you've lost someone, and if you're attracted to someone else, and if your heart is tugging you, I want to normalize this for you. It's okay. It's okay to love. She said, your heart is like a great cathedral. Let it open. Let it love. And then she went on, she said, if you've loved a man, and then you've loved a woman, and then you've loved a man, I want you to know, it's okay. I'll normalize it for you. It's okay. Love who you love. Because all love is okay. That sort of emphasized what Reverend Melanie was telling us a couple of weeks ago. Love is okay, no matter who you love. And then Elizabeth Gilbert goes on to say, you know, you really can't control it anyway. I was looking and I noticed in Google search, there were 920 million Google searches just last year, almost 1 billion, on just biblical things, on Bible titles of searching for God and searching for love. 1 billion searches with people searching for God and searching for love. That tells me something there. There was an author, a song by Morrison and Patty Ray, I believe. And he wrote a song called Searching for Love. And it starts out and it goes, I'm a man searching for love. And if you search my heart, you will find that I'm searching for love. Searching for love. 1 billion people searching for love and for God's love. Just this past March, I saw where in 1956, there was a family up in Michigan. They lost their 15-year-old son to a tragic farm accident. His parents had bought him a new shotgun. And he was on the farm tractor. He was going to go, I guess, deer hunting or something. And he dropped the shotgun and he got caught in the tractor. And somehow it went off and killed him. So in their grief, in 1956, they commissioned a large cross, marble cross from Italy, with a depiction of Jesus on it. The cross was 11 feet, made out of white marble. Jesus was 5.5 feet on the cross, and they were going to put it on their son's memorial. Well, it came in, it was shipped in, and the arm was broken on Jesus, so they refused the order. They paid $2,500 in 1956. Well, it sat behind some house, a garage type thing. Matter of fact, the insurance company had to make it good, so they paid for it, and it sat behind this garage. And then there was an insurance sale in 1962. And this dive team in Michigan bought this 11-foot tall cross with a 5.5-foot Jesus on it, this crucifix. You see, one of their members had died in a diving accident, so they thought they were just going to sink it into Michigan, Lake Michigan. And they did. In 1986, they sank it. Well, nobody could really enjoy it. You know, it was too far out. You couldn't really see it, except for if you dived. And they would go down every now and then and clean it up. Matter of fact, they even repaired it. They put a new arm on Jesus. People are searching for love and searching for God. In 2015, the dive team took this 11-foot tall statue and moved it closer to the shore. They put it 800 feet in a little town called Pistoki in Michigan. It's 800 feet off the shore and 22 feet of water. And for the first time in decades or years, the ice froze over and they cut a hole in 4 feet of ice and they invited people to come out and view this cross. It's the largest cross that we know that's in fresh water. 2,021 people lined up on that cold winter day, ice blowing, wind blowing. You know how cold Michigan would be. To make a line to go out and view this 11-foot cross in the water. Well, they did, and 2,021 people got to enjoy it. Well, the weather conditions have not been right until this year, this March. They again could cut 4 feet of ice and invited people again. 600 people as of March 9th, that one day, made that line going out, walking on the ice, perilous as that might be, with all that weight on the ice and the wind whipping and howling around, so they could view that cross. People are searching for God. People are searching for God and love and God's love. 1 billion searches in just 2018. I want to tell you a little story. It's a Hasidic Jewish story. There was a man, and he was going from village to village. He was searching for God. He was going from village to village, and he would go to a village and go, "Is God in this village?" And someone would say, "No, but if you pray, you might find him." Well, that wasn't good enough for him, so he would go to another village. And he'd say, "Is God here?" And they'd say, "No, but if you study hard, you might find God." And he studied, but it didn't do any good. So he'd go to another village. "Is God here?" And they said, "Well, God is within." And that wasn't good enough for him either. He was searching and searching. And he came upon this village, and there was a woman outside the village tending to some chickens. And he came upon her and he said, "Is God in this village?" And she said, "Yes." And she said, "Let me take you to him." So she took him to the rabbi. And the rabbi was very busy. So he went into his office and he just stood there. The rabbi was busy. And he finally interrupted the rabbi and said, "Can I find God? Where is God in this village?" And the rabbi looked at him and said, "Why don't you stay a day? Stay a day." So he did. He stayed that day. And you know what? He ended up staying another day. Is God in this village? Ended up staying a third day. Oh, let's just say he stayed a week. Well, really, he stayed 3 weeks. Well, he stayed maybe a month or two. And he was finding himself, he was working with the people. He was eating with the people. He was enjoying the people's company and their friendship. And so he stayed about 6 or 8 months. And he would be praying with the people. And he could sometimes hear their prayers and feel their prayers, and other times he couldn't. But he stayed with them almost a year. And finally he saw the rabbi again, and the rabbi said, "Have you found God yet?" And he said, "I know God's here. I don't know how it happened or when it happened, but God is here." And the rabbi said, "God is not a person or a thing. God is within you. Go back to your village." So he went back to his village. And he was happy around his friends. And one day a stranger approached and said, "Is God in this village?" And he said, "Yes, he is. Yes, he is." 1 billion people are looking for God's love and for love from one another. Let me share another story with you, just a quick story. There was a man and his wife. He had 2 daughters. And he kind of wanted to grow his family a little bit, so they were thinking about fostering a child. So they did. A little 8-year-old girl. And he found out that this little 8-year-old girl, the family she had been with before, they had dissolved the fostership. Somehow she just didn't assimilate and fit in with that family. The family would go to a trip to Disney World each year, taking the other people in the family, but leave our little girl at home. Always because she was either too bad or she just wasn't good enough. They just left her home. She never fit in with this family. So he found out about that story. And he thought to himself, well, I've got to make a trip to Disney World. I've got to take us all back to Disney World. The other girls in the family had been there, but he wanted this little 8-year-old to go. So he announced the trip. He forgot, what an oversized mouse and an oversized duck to make a child lose their sanity. They were making the trip. Well, about a month before the trip, our little foster girl started stealing food. She didn't have to. All she has to do is ask for a snack. And then she started lying. She didn't have to lie. She would lie about stuff she didn't even have to lie about. And then she started saying mean things, whispering mean things to her older sister and her younger sister. And this went on for weeks. And finally he had had enough. And he sat her down on his lap. And he said, he thought, well, I'm just going to have to tell her. I'm just going to have to tell her. He started to say, if you don't straighten up, you're not going with us. But he didn't say that. Here's what came out of his mouth, thank goodness. He said, you're part of the family, are you not? She said, yes. She said, you're coming with us. Well, you would hope that that would end all the problems. Well, it didn't. She was bad up to the moment they went. But after the first day in Disney World, he was tucking the children in at night. And she had her little unicorn, I think, with her. And he said, how did you like Disney World? And she said, Daddy, I love Disney World. And the best part was I didn't have to be good. I got to go because I'm yours. Because I'm yours. Brothers and sisters, beloved, we do not earn God's love. We can never be good enough. We are God's yours. That's the answer. We are God's yours. I was looking in Genesis, the first chapter of Genesis, and I was thinking about this. We are God's yours. And in the very first chapter in Genesis, God has exploded the light. He's made the sun and the moon and the stars. And then the vapor on the earth he made into waters, oceans and seas and brooks. And then there were plant life and seeds. And then there were fishes in the oceans and animals on the land. And the very next thing God did is this. Genesis 27. So God made man like his maker. Like God did God make man. Like God did God make man. We are created in the image of God, and we are God's yours. Will you pray with me? Father, thank you so much that I don't have to earn my way for your love. I can never be good enough, nor any of us. But thank you for your love, and that I don't have to search Google to know that I am loved, that we are loved as your children. And so it is so. Amen.
Chuck, if you can do it your way,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it my way.
But what? You know what kids would say? They'd say monkey butt. That's what children say. Yeah. We are gonna, we did change our mind on a song. However, yours, yours, Lord. Everything I got, everything I am, everything I'm not, I'm yours, Lord. Try me now and see. See if I can be completely yours. There is a song. He doesn't know it. I barely remember it, but I remember that much. I just wanted to share that more with you. Now we're going to do it his way. His way. Okay? That's all the sermon I have.
little bossa nova, my Latin side, which doesn't exist. Here, I don't need it.
What happened to that one? Maybe we should do I'm yours, but you don't know it.
We play this as a bossa nova. Of course, everybody knows it as a very slow ballad, and it sounds rather sad. So I did my thing to it. You ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
That was especially beautiful. Thank you so much. It's time now for the blessing of our gifts as we give freely of what was first given to us. If you'll say with me from your orders of service, today I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. And because we are here by no chance, but by divine order, let us thank each other for the special gift that each of us brings here today. Go on, turn to somebody and tell them thank you.
Yes. Are you taking this? Thank you. Yeah. You have to take it with great resolve, with great relief.
Please take a name and pray this week for someone. It benefits you as well as the other person.
Good morning. While we're thanking everybody, I just want to thank everybody again for everything that you do each and every week. And I especially thank Nancy and Melanie for the entertainment this morning. Last week we had entertainment, this week we have, but it's fun. We can laugh at ourselves and that's good. And we don't get all bent out of shape about it. So it's good, it's all good. Laughter is good. Let's start out with the important things, and that's birthdays. And there's only 2 in April. Pam Cobbett and myself. So Pam's not here. Join us next door. I didn't think I'd live this long to start with. I'm only 25. So. Let's leave it at that. Okay, and come next door for a cake. Jane provided the cake today. Thank you so much, Jane. Appreciate that. We're glad to have Bob back with us this morning. He's back. And also, Kate, we're glad to have you back.
Yep.
Good to see you, that smiling face of yours. The flowers this week were sponsored by Nancy in memory of her mother. Thank you, Nancy. You've got Easter service coming up, not next Sunday, but the week after, and we got Good Friday at 7 o'clock on February. April the 19th, then on that Sunday, Easter Sunday, we have sunrise service at 7, and we'll be going to breakfast afterwards, and then we've got the regular service at 11 o'clock. We have, Melanie's going to be doing the sunrise service, and Marita's going to be doing the 11 o'clock service. We encourage you to attend both of them if at all possible. And this year, I think we're going to have the sunrise service on the front lawn so people can see us and more people will hopefully come out for that. So anyhow, we're trying to encourage people to come out as much as they can to the church. And we want to say hello to the people that are watching us on Facebook. We have several people watching today, so we're very grateful to see that. We still have Easter candy for sale. If anybody wants to buy it, they're $2 a bar, unless they're for Jerry, and he's been paying free, so. Thanks, Jerry. We appreciate that, Jerry. And the ballots for the election of the officers, the ballot box is over here. We mailed some to the people that don't come to church on a regular basis, but if you're here on a regular basis, then please just put the ballot over there, save us the postage. Otherwise, they're due back in May the 12th, I think is what we said. So, because the meeting will be on the following Sunday, which will be May the 19th. So, you're having class this Wednesday night as usual. All right, Wednesday night at 5 o'clock, Marita's reading class, and we have coffee on Mill Mountain at 6:30, and you're doing your craft on Thursday night at 6:30. So, anybody else have anything they want to say or whatever? One thing, we're looking at some changes up for doing things at the church and everything, and try to encourage people to come. We've had several suggestions, and one of them was the joy song. That people say, well, we get a joy song and then we only sing it, and then by the time it comes around again, we don't know it. So probably for a month, we're going to sing the same joy song so people will know it, and then the next time they play it 6 months from now, you'll remember it. So anyhow, that's what we're going to try, because I do know that it's hard sometimes. We play a new song, and then we don't play it again for several weeks, because we try to rotate like we do the hymns, but, so anyhow, that was one of the suggestions, so we're gonna try that and see how it works, and then, I know there's been a song that Melanie sings, and Joy has sung, "What Is It to Draw Me, Lord?" And now people know it because we sing it so much. So anyhow, and so another thing is, if you have any suggestions for the church as to how to grow the church, or changes for the things that we do every Sunday, let us know, because we're open to all suggestions, and we'll certainly look at them, and we will give everything a try that we can. So, okay. All right, everybody have a great day, and come next door for cake.
I just want to say before we sing our last hymn today that God has given us a desire for growth. Isn't that amazing? It feels good. So let's do all we can, use our brain, our ideas, and think of ways to grow, because the desire is definitely there, and I believe it's a God-given desire. We're going to sing Flow, Spirit, Flow. It's page 64 in your hymnal, and we'll sing both verses. Rise when you're ready. It's called Flow, Spirit, Flow, page 64.
Let's try to form a circle.
Never a circle, Doug, ever.
I know.
Try as we may.
Oh, I get to hold his paw again. Yes, I do.
Doesn't it look like an amoeba?
Is Bob with us?
Yes.
Oh, good deal. Father, if someone came to our little village, our church, and they said, "Is God here?" we could say, yes. Yes, God is here.
Yes.
Thank you, dear God, for this day. May we go forward in the week with safety and love. Amen.
Amen.